Hey everyone, it's Richard here with a review of the 3F Ultralight Lanshan tent. It's a 2-layer tent that I bought off AliExpress. The link will be provided down below in the description if you're interested, from the seller that I bought it from. I ordered this on the 8th of November and the tent arrived on the 23rd of November to my house in the UK. So it took 15 days to arrive, and the shipper has provided a tracking number which tracked the item all the way from China to here in the UK, and I've had no problems with importing it or customs. The tent comes with a seal poly stuff sack, the same material that the flysheet is made out of, I believe. It's quite water resistant. I've splash tested it in the sink and water didn't get through, and water beads nicely up on the outside of the stuff sack. It also comes with a separate stuff sack for the spare guy lines and the tent stakes that it comes with, which resembles the MSR mini groundhogs. I can verify that I have received everything in the product description, including 9 tent stakes, 2 wind ropes, and the tent itself. Please bear in mind that the tent does not come with a free footprint unlike some other 3F tents. I prefer to stuff my tents rather than roll and fold, and I was able to get the 3F tent to fit back into its original stuff sack without a problem. The weight measurements provided on AliExpress were spot on. The pegs and the stuff sack came to 92 grams, and the tent itself, along with its stuff sack, came out to 840 grams, giving 932 grams in total, which for the Americans is just under 2 pounds, I believe. Setting up the tent was fairly simple. The tent does not come with any instruction on how to set it up, but it didn't take me many attempts to figure out how to set up the tent properly. All you have to do is attach the 6 corner points, which includes the bathtub loops, as shown in the video, into the ground, but you do 5 of them first, and then you leave the last one, which is a door, until the end after you set up the pole. 3F's choice of installing the tie-up points in the corners wasn't the best or the strongest in my opinion, because as I found out after erecting the pole and introducing some tension and pulling on them a little bit, several of them did fall out. But that's a really easy fix. All you have to do is reinsert it and tie it yourself. And ever since I did that, it's been holding on ever since. In my experience, I found setting the pole to between 125 centimeters to 120 centimeters to work the best. This height allowed the tent to be of a height where the internet didn't touch the fly sheet and provided enough livable space inside, but it also wasn't high enough so that a lot of tension was introduced on the stakes and the tarp. After the pole has been inserted and the final stake in the door has been put in, I like to go around the tent again just to really pull out on all the previous points and readjust them to make sure everything's taut. This might be because my pitching skills isn't the best and I have to do it in 2 attempts, but I think that even for someone new like me to a trekking pole setup, it's a really easy tent to set up, as long as you're willing to give it a little bit of patience. The tent is seam sealed with reinforcement points in where the manufacturer thinks they are needed. However, there are a few areas where the manufacturer has bar tacked onto the reinforcement points, and that is not seam sealed. So if you want something really waterproof, maybe you need to seam seal yourself, but with my limited water test, it hasn't become an issue as of yet. The manufacturer descriptions does claim Ykk Zippers, but I was not able to see any of the Ykk branding on the zippers. However, they do zip quite well and I have no complaints about them. The vestibule space is definitely quite generous. There's more than enough space to put a backpack, your shoes, and maybe if you want to cook, you can definitely do it in the vestibule. The space inside is definitely only big enough for one person and some belonging. 140 pounds and 5'11", so 180 centimeters. And this is me on my inflatable mat. As you can see, there is space to the left of me for a backpack, and there's a storage pouch as well. My feet does touch the internet, unfortunately, but my head does clear. I would say the maximum user height for this tent is right around 6 foot, with my height being the borderline. And if you're 5'8" or shorter, you probably don't need to worry about headspace. Perhaps with better pitching skills, someone who's a little bit taller can get away with it, but I wouldn't recommend a tent for anyone taller than 5'11" or 6 foot. Taking the tent down is a much simpler process compared to setting it up. All you have to do is zip up the inner net and then take away the tent pole and then remove the stakes, and then you're done. Overall, from my first impressions, I think the 3F Lanshan 1 tent offers incredible value. At only £65 or €70 or around $80 to $85 delivered, I think this is one of the best ultralight tents money could buy. I think the quality of the actual product itself is top-notch and I have no complaints. As I have mentioned, there are a few tiny little details that you can fix in just a few minutes or a very little money spent, such as the seam stealing of the tack bar as well as the little tie-up points. I have not been able to take the tent out for a trip yet, but from my back garden water tests, the flysheet has held quite well, and I believe that the 5,000mm hydrostatic rating is probably accurate for the flysheet, and the 8,000mm hydrostatic rating for the bathtub floor is also probably accurate. Overall, I'm very, very pleased with this purchase. I don't think there's a tent on the market right now that can compete with the 3F Lanshan at its weight and its performance and the value it delivers. Over the next few months, I'll be taking this tent onto my hiking and camping trips. So if you want to see how the tent performs in the rain and wind, please do subscribe for future updates. If you're interested in purchasing the tent for yourself, there's the link down below to the AliExpress seller that I purchased the tent from. I hope the information has been helpful and of interest, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon.